Hey guys, my name is Keegan Siegfried. I'm the owner of Paramount Home Group.
And I'm Katie Frederick. I'm the COO of Paramount Home Group.
And we are here today to talk about how to work Zillow leads at a higher level. All right. Katie, I know you've been working Zillow leads for a very long time. You
Yes.
no longer work them now. However, I was the same way. I worked them for a very long time to start my career. We did it at a really, really, really high level, pun intended.
Yeah.
And you were at like 14% conversion rate, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
14% conversion rate.
Yeah, I was 17.8, not to one up you or anything, but like the point is that puts us in the top 1% in the entire nation at converting Zillow leads.
Totally.
And now we want to talk to you guys today about
Yeah.
how to do it.
Because of that, we love Zillow. We know that it works. We figured out a system on how to convert Zillow leads. And in doing that, it exploded our businesses. We took control of our businesses, and we want to share that with everybody.
Yeah. Why we love Zillow. Just like you said, it exploded our businesses. I can tell you hands down, I'm not even in production anymore. And almost all of my personal referrals stem from past Zillow clients, whether they're past Zillow clients that are looking to sell their home or buy another one, or the referrals from those Zillow clients.
Yeah, the hardest part about real estate is, or any business for that matter, is lead generation. It's finding a way to generate the leads. And when you're a real estate agent, you're presented, you can do open houses, you can go door knocking, you can call FSBOs, expireds, and all of them work, but they're tough. And it can take a very long time to actually convert those leads and get good at converting those leads. Just because you call them doesn't mean you're going to get paid on that. So Zillow, they generate the leads for you. They're really passing you a layup, as we call it. So with Zillow leads, they're generating the lead, which is the toughest part in real estate. And you can take that, and every person that I get from Zillow that turns into a client, I try to do such an amazing job for them that they refer me business in the future. And when you have a buyer who buys now, when they're ready to move up or downsize or relocate, in a couple years you stay up with them, keep up with them, then they are going to turn into a listing. So Zillow is really a momentum builder, a business builder, and they've got the market share. They've got the nation's attention when it comes to real estate. So why not partner with that type of industry giant?
Yeah, they're the 800-pound gorilla in our industry.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're getting like 30 million more viewers a day than the next real estate lead platform. Like,
I believe it.
People go to Zillow. Like I know with our MLSs even, if a home is listed in a different MLS and we don't have access to it yet, I'll go to Zillow.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I know a lot of people might hate on Zillow. We heard the Gary Kellers of the world really fight that battle, and we saw what happened. But it's not like Zillow is us, but it is a major partner to us, and we will totally use it.
Right.
So first and foremost, and probably the most important thing in working Zillow leads is nailing that first call.
Yes.
So yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so nailing the first call is really going to determine if you have success in converting Zillow leads or not. So Zillow, their framework for this first call, they call it ALM, which is appointment, location, motivation. To give you guys some quick stats on why you should follow their framework. First of all, Zillow is a data company. They make all their decisions and give all of their advice based on massive amounts of data. So if Zillow tells me to do something, whether I understand it or not, I'm doing it because they have the data to show that that works, period. 85% of the transactions that happen through Zillow leads use the ALM script. So when you start with ALM, you have a much better chance of converting Zillow leads at a higher level. The ideal first call is actually between 2 to 5 minutes. It's 3.5 minutes is the average of ideal first calls. A lot of new agents will run into issues with this. They just want to ramble on and get every single detail about this buyer. But what I tell new agents is most Zillow leads, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
I like that.
And when they're on the phone with you that first time, they don't care about you. They don't know who you are. You're just like some other person on the phone, another step in their way to actually get in the door of the house. So keep it short, sweet, get the info that you need to know, set the appointment ASAP, and then meet them there, and then that's when you kill it and give them their value add and all that good stuff. So just to talk about, let's talk about the intro to nailing the first call. So the intro, you want to come in really strong. You do not want to say anything like, hi, how are you doing? No small talk. We're not giving away control of the conversation. You want to introduce who you are. Your first name is fine. They don't care about your last name. They don't even know who you are at this point. You want to say, hi, whatever their name is. So, hi, Keegan, this is Catherine. I'm Zillow's preferred local realtor here in Tampa or wherever. There's a couple different ways you can say it. I'm a Zillow Premier agent here in Tampa, but you want to connect yourself with Zillow because right now that's the brand they trust. So, hi, Keegan, this is Catherine. I'm Zillow's preferred local realtor here in Tampa. I see you are interested in 123 Main Street. When would you like to go see the property?
How about today at 5 p.m.?
Perfect. I am available at 5 p.m. Were there any other properties that you would like to see?
I did actually have a few others that were on my list, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it's XYZ property.
Yep.
So out of all these properties, what did you like about these properties?
They were in the school district that I need for my kids.
Okay, so school district's really important?
School district and close to my job.
Okay, perfect. So this location looks really good for you. Okay, well, Keegan, let me ask you this. If I see any other properties that are in this school district and similar to the ones that you just told me about, is it okay if I add them to our showings today at 5 o'clock?
Today, I only have about an hour and a half, but I am available this weekend as well.
Okay, perfect. What time this weekend?
Saturday mornings are best.
Saturday mornings? Okay. I like to get started at around 9 o'clock if that works for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, great. So just to go over everything, I'm going to see you at 123 Main Street tonight at 5 o'clock. And we will also plan to meet each other at 124 Main Street on Saturday at 9 a.m. Does that sound good?
That'd be great, yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to text you my personal information so you have it. Reach out with any questions, but I'll see you tonight at 5.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
Great.
Thanks, Catherine. Boom. That easy.
That's the ideal first call. You need those 4 questions that I asked.
But the cool thing is, like, even though that we just scripted it that way, and you know, not to say that we planned it right before this, but that really is how they can go. You know,
they do go like that.
Now, the one thing I will say is a lot of times I will see other people ask a question about it, like an HOA question or any other offers on it or something like that. But again, that's depending on the market, but very basic stuff. They really just want to see the house. Right.
They want to get in there and you're the resource.
You're the key.
You're the key at first.
Yep.
Until we really show what our true value is as a realtor and how we are going to represent them and everything that we're going to do for them.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hear that on that first call.
Yeah.
They don't get it. You know, they don't understand it yet. That's our job to show them and teach them.
Yeah. One of the common objections that I typically hear is, I was looking for the listing agent. How do you handle that?
Yeah, so the way that I handle that, if somebody asks, you know, sometimes they'll just cut you off and say, are you the listing agent? I want to be connected to the listing agent. We know that connecting a buyer to the listing agent is actually not their best use of representation. And there's this common misconception in the world that if they get connected with the listing agent, they're going to get this awesome deal and their offer will get accepted over everybody else's. It's really not the case. And all they're doing is making their representation less than what it could be.
Oh, yeah.
So when somebody tells me that, I say, I actually work really closely with the seller for this property, but I do represent buyers for this home.
Yeah. Meaning you're not the listing agent, but you are working closely with the seller through the listing agent, right? Because you have that communication, but you're not actually representing the seller.
Right. And notice I didn't say, no, I'm not the listing agent. No bad news, no negative news on the first call.
Yeah.
You can answer somebody's question without being yes or no. When they hear no, they want to hang up the phone. But you're addressing what you do. Right? The objection is just a request for more information. So they're objecting, are you the listing agent? they want more information from me,
Yeah.
right? So and then when I finish that, I immediately pivot back to ALM.
Yeah.
You don't answer that and then pause to see how they react or if they're going to be okay with it, right? I work really closely with buyers for this property. So what did you like about this property?
Yeah.
You
One of the
pivot
things,
and move on.
yeah, for sure. One of the things that I've actually found just to overcome that objection, even when it's not even presented, is when somebody asks about the time on when to actually meet, it's, yeah, let me get with the sellers and just to confirm it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'll let you know once it's confirmed. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like right then and there, just make sure that, because a lot of agents, or a lot of buyers actually ask, are you the listing agent? And even if they're not, they're thinking it.
Right.
Or they're looking something up on Google and it says, ask for the listing agent.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they read some random article somewhere that's told them what to do, and they really just don't understand.
Exactly. What other objections do you see a lot?
So some of the objections that you're going to get, and these kind of people will go off on a tangent, but the objection of, well, I only want to see the house if there's an apple orchard, and very obscure questions about the property. And again, you want to take that objection, acknowledge it, say, hey, I'm on my way to the office. I will get that information for you. But if everything checks out and it does have an apple orchard, when would you like to go see the property? Always back to that appointment.
I feel like I want an apple now.
Right. I'll take an apple orchard.
Yeah.
But, whoever's asking the questions is in control of the conversation. And those are the questions that you need to know.
It's so true. Yeah. Questions control the conversation.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've seen really, really, really help, not just us, I didn't really have it until about the final year that I was taking Zillow calls. So it's been that long since I was actively practicing this, but the leads are just the same.
Yeah.
Right? The leads are actually better now because it's live connections.
Right.
Beforehand, I actually had to follow up with them and try to get them on the phone.
Right.
But one of the things that I've found super, super helpful, listening to your calls.
Yes.
If you are not listening to your calls, you are not going to get better. Just like when you look in the mirror every single day before you head to work or you go out on your date night, you are checking to see how you look. If you are not listening to your calls, you are not going to get better at your calls. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You have to review yourself in order to find the holes to get better.
Right. And you're going to be your own biggest critic.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Every person is going to know what to change. And if you think that the way we're talking about this, we're overthinking this first call, we are not.
No.
This first call is so important and will literally determine, it's the top of the funnel, right? So if you can't keep the top of the funnel as big as possible, your bottom of the funnel is going to suffer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One of the other things that I've seen is listening to your call with somebody else. Like, yes, you're your own biggest critic, but having somebody else that can also point out the holes. Like, we play them in our team meetings.
Yeah.
And we will let the agent whose call it is critique themselves first, but then they get to go around the room and actually their peers get to say, I like how you did this. I would tweak this here. Try not to say this. Accentuate this more. Great job on setting the appointment. And we'll give scores 1 out of 10, but it's so cool to see because when you're not only just doing it yourself, but you're doing it with others, you are only going to get that much better.
Yeah.
We see it every day.
And you get to hear little twists, right, of how everybody does it, how everybody says it, little nuggets here and there. So every call is recorded, so totally people should listen to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this one free showing, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this all the time. You call it driveway consultations. I call it kitchen consultations. And it's one of those things where it's like only kitchen consultation because we're in Florida.
Yeah.
It's hot. I don't want to stand outside in July and talk to them as I'm sweating profusely.
Right.
They don't want to do it either. They're not going to want to have the conversation as they're doing it. But it's that initial consultation. Like we've all heard of buyer consultations in the office, but I'm not asking these people to come into the office before we go see this house.
Right.
That's a common mistake I actually see a lot. What I want to do is I want to show them the house, and then now that I'm in person and able to create a relationship with them, because that human connection when you're in person, it means something, and they can feel your energy a little bit more than just hearing it. Right? Having that consultation is so huge. I'll do it right there at the kitchen table.
That's our opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
But these leads, they don't, a typical ideal lead, you're going to bring them into the office, You're going to have a consultation. They'll get pre-approved first. Then you'll go out and shop for homes. That's not what this lead wants to do.
No.
And if we want to close deals, we got to, follow their lead until they trust us.
Yeah.
So this is your opportunity for the buyer consult.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the things that we know, we're a flex team, so we don't have this issue. However, with regular market-based pricing, Zillow leads, there are live connections and there's digital connections, which means that they're not live on the phone right there. The follow-up, it is so important. I can't tell you how many times I've actually gotten the person on the phone on the 7th or 8th try 30, 45, 60 days later. It happens, but you have to follow up with them. This mindset of, oh, I tried to call them and I texted them and I emailed them one time and then you move on to the next thing. It's kind of like a low-hanging fruit syndrome a little bit.
Yeah.
But we know the best in the business are consistent in everything they do, which includes the most important thing, following up with leads.
Yep.
Yeah.
And being top of mind. It's not their job to remember who we are.
Oh, no.
It's our job to make sure they know who we are, that we are who they think of when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the following up, especially when that lead first comes in, you've got 48 hours before the stats show that it just starts to drop off and plummet. And you need to have like a lot of long-term nurture. But your best shot at converting that lead is to get in front of them.
Yeah.
Face to face within 48 hours to solidify that relationship moving forward.
I'm glad you said face to face because I know a lot of times leads will come in and it'll be like, oh, I want to see this home next Saturday. Well, we need to move that time frame up, right? Are you really, if they're really looking for a home, we need to move that up. We have to, because number one, depending on your market, it may not be on the market anymore. And number two, how many agents are they going to talk to after you if they're waiting until next Saturday? Do what you need to do to move that appointment up.
I think also understanding how people act, like the psychology behind it. Social anxiety is a thing, like ghosting people is a thing. These are just human beings. Like leads are just a human being and their contact information, right? We try to filter it out to be the best type of person, but it's just a human on the other end. And when you give them 2 weeks before an appointment, that gives them that much time to get in their own head, cancel, life to happen. They'll talk themselves out of buying. They're like, oh, I was just excited for a couple hours. It's like, no, you can do this. Yep. So getting them to the house in front of you as soon as possible is going to increase the chance that you actually get to have a transaction and that they actually become a homeowner.
One of the things that you mentioned was human connection. And we've found a lot of success with it is actually having a video that you send out via text, email. Text is typically the best practice just because everybody has their phone right there, is a video of you just introducing yourself so they know who to look for when they get there. It helps build that connection and it shows that you're a real person. And it actually shows that you're doing more than every other realtor. Right. How many realtors actually do that? Yeah.
It's not hard to set yourself apart.
No.
And I think we get in our own way a lot of time too. We talk about this all the time where, we're realtors, we are real estate agents, we are not employees. An employee, you do X, Y, Z, and you do what you're supposed to do. Realtors, you can't do too much.
Yeah.
You can be as creative as you want, do anything you want to help and serve these people. Yeah. So I think keeping that in mind, a lot of realtors get in their own way. They're like, well, that's not how it's supposed to go. They're supposed to have a pre-approval, and it's like they're not supposed to do anything.
Yeah.
You're supposed to earn their business.
Yep.
So serve the client the way they want to be served.
Dead on balls accurate. All right. So the no-nos. We see a lot of this. Like we know when we have an agent come onto our team and we turn their leads on, we know we're giving them 5 leads that they're good, and then they're paused, and then we re-listen to them. And that's where a lot of the no-nos start. Even with all the training and everything like that, there's still the practice and then live bullets. And we know that there are some no-nos in here.
Yeah.
What are those?
Where to begin? So, I know we talked on the first call, no small talk, right? We actually found that if you answer the call and you say, hey, this is Katie with Zillow, how are you doing today? Your appointment rate drops from 80% to 30% if you just ask that question. Yeah. Because you're giving the client the opportunity to go off on a tangent or go off on the rails or, they're not sure how this process works, right? Or they probably wouldn't be on Zillow.
Yep.
But they're not really sure what they're doing. And if you just leave it open for them and have a long pause or ask them open-ended questions like that, they are not going to know what to do. They're going to feel frustrated. Like, I'm calling because you're supposed to know what to do.
How am I doing? I'm calling about seeing a house.
Right.
Right?
Can we
That's
get to
how
the
I'm doing.
point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
get to the point. Now, you mentioned the DISC personality chart, and there are a lot of high I's that do want to talk to you, but you have to set the appointment first.
Yes.
It's a huge difference. Zillow, data company, major difference between appointment set, first question, and not. It's like 55% or something like that.
Huge, yeah.
That's a big deal. Another thing that I see a lot is the and then not listening. So when an agent talks over the client, you are being a major, major, major turnoff. Please stop, listen to their answers, and then ask more questions. Your questions are based on their answers. First question is always the appointment, but after that, there are some following up questions, right?
Right.
But
that are about them.
yeah, it's about them, appointment, location, motivation. Like, there are some questions after that. You have to listen to the client. Big, big, big deal.
I would say another huge no-no that, and this is actually after that first call, but it's leaving an appointment without setting the next appointment. Yeah. So as a real estate agent, your goal, any appointment that you get, there should always be very clear on when, where, and what the next appointment is. And just because they don't have a property picked out already, a good talk track that I'll use is, if we saw the houses, they don't really want to write an offer on any of them, I say, okay, no problem. Usually we have a big inventory drop of homes on Thursdays, because that's when it's a popular day to list homes.
Yep.
I know you don't work on Fridays, so why don't we plan to meet next Friday at 5 o'clock, and we'll look at the new drop of inventory of homes on Thursday and set the appointments for Friday.
You already sound like a professional because you know when the listings are dropping.
Right.
It is. It's true. Thursdays are popular.
It's true. Like, that's the next plan, right? Like, keep them engaged. I really believe that homeownership is hard and discouraging, and it's our job to make it possible for people. So keeping their head in the game, keeping them positive, like showing them it's super possible is part of our job.
Yeah, I agree. Last thing, remember, these people need your help. They do. They are literally clicking a button so they can get in the house. They can't get in the house without you. Once they're in the house, they still need your help in writing the contract and negotiating and doing the things that you do better than anybody else. You have to remember that. These are people that need your help. Biggest mistake that I see made in our entire industry is realtors thinking that this is a transaction. This is not a transaction. This is somebody that you are connecting with to be a referral for life. They are going to do business with you for the rest of their life, and they are going to refer friends, family, and coworkers. And that's how we built our businesses personally, right? We are
living proof.
Yeah, living proof. We converted at a high level, and now, to be honest with you, we really don't ever have to work again just because of our phones ringing. We do this for the agents at this point, right? We want to pass it on down. That's our motive.
Yeah.
But it becomes so easy when you do such a good job for these people that are clicking this button and you're getting on the phone with. If you do it at a higher level than anybody else, they will call you again.
And I think that's part of our goal of what we're looking to do is, one, to be that confident when you're in front of people, you have to have the knowledge to back it up.
Yeah.
Right? You have to make yourself, like, you have to know that you are the best agent, you have the best systems, you know how to negotiate, you've got great intentions. And then if you have all of that stuff, and you know what other kind of people that are out there in the industry, the kind of people that we have to deal with, unresponsive, part-time, maybe don't have great intentions.
Too emotional,
take it out on their clients. Like, it is a disservice to not help the people that come into our path, because we know we will take care of them and protect them. So all of these clients, when I say you can't do too much, that's what I mean. Like, you earn their business, and you earn it by making sure you're their best option.
Yeah. And guys, remember, we're trying to give this information to you via YouTube video. both of us are on the same page. If you want to get really, really, really good on the phone and on the appointment, you need to be around people that are doing it better than you. So yes, we can give it to you through a YouTube video, but you need to start going on those appointments. If you are not ultra confident, go on them with other people. They'll show you how to do it at a higher level.
Yeah. So if you want to talk with either of us about upping your Zillow game, please feel free to click the link and schedule some time with us to go over that and subscribe.